high, stepped down into time, and wrote the story of his love for everyone. He has filled our hearts with wonder, so that we can always remember. You and I were made to worship. You and I are called to love. You and I are forgiven and free. Sounds good. You and I embrace surrender. You and I choose to believe. You and I will see that we were meant to be. Yes, the world is full of purpose. It's kind of like a law of nature. I mean, it's unscientific to believe that there's no purpose in anything. Without a cause, I mean, there has to be a cause for something to have happened. That's just science. Anyways, thank you for joining me on the Ant-Man channel. It is the 30th of November, 2014, on this lovely Sunday morning where I just feel like worshiping God out of nowhere. I know that I'm giving you more than what you bargained for. I know that you probably subscribed to my channel or probably didn't, and you came to my video and probably weren't trying to hear me sing right now, but I couldn't help myself. I really like that song. It's amazing to me that there's nothing that we can give back to God for what He did for us, but just the fact that pleases God to hear us sing about Him and stuff. That brings a smile to my heart. Anyway, Christian New Orleans Saints player Benjamin Watson's comments on Ferguson goes viral. Says sin, not skin, is the problem. Duh. Sorry, I don't mean to be so rude, but you know what? It's so obvious in the Bible that it says that people that that don't like correction, don't like truth, are just they're clinging to some type of licentiousness. They want to be able to claim something. This isn't a civil rights issue, people. This is a issue that has to do with how our government is operating with us nowadays, putting the police as a kind of a judge, jury, and executioner on our streets. And to be honest with you, I don't feel safe around cops, dude. I don't. I feel like my life is in danger when I'm around cops because they're so stupid nowadays. They just shoot people and their dogs for no reason nowadays. So when I see a cop, I'm really like, oh, they're good eggs. Oh, they're good eggs. No, they're not. They're guilty by association. Straight up, dude. The cops are so bad nowadays that it's not even. I don't believe in that good egg nonsense. Whenever I see a cop, I'm really inclined to think that he's gonna try to harass me or try to get me to give over my rights and let him, do whatever he wants to me. And it's just, that's the issue here, people. The race baiters and hustlers like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, call themselves Reverend or whatever. This is a joke. These people are jumping on Michael Brown's dead body like a bunch of vultures, man, and it's disgusting. It really is disgusting to see the stupidity and the ignorance in our society these days, that we think this issue has to do with some type of issue this man must have had with the color of the other guy's skin. This is the stupidity of our time today, you guys. So let's see how Benjamin Watson weighs in on this from the New Orleans Saints. Isn't it kind of ironic that he's on the team, the Saints? A day after tempers flared with the controversial decision of a Missouri grand jury to not indict Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown, Christian New Orleans Saints tight end Benjamin Watson struck a poignant chord in the national conversation on race, racism, and policing in America that has now gone viral. You know what, dude? I'm gonna commend him for bravery right now, because when some of my friends that are not saved, what I tell them is don't ever talk about this issue with people. This issue has been brought to the forefront for a certain reason, and that is to cause division. This is a very, very, very fragile issue, man. Like it is. There's a thin line between justice and mercy. Man, I can't believe I'm feeling this bold today, but I'm going to just tell you that the guy was just doing his job. Maybe if you stop watching MTV and thinking that you're a thug and thinking that you need to freaking imitate all this stupidity that you see on the television nowadays, maybe you wouldn't get shot. How you like them apples? That's how you like some honesty and some truth today. It's going to go down pretty nasty, but it's going to be good for you. It's like medicine. It doesn't really taste good, but it helps you. So, yeah, I know. And for you guys out there that are, and I get these comments sometimes, who are you to talk about this issue when you're not black, you're not white, whatever, dude. I don't care. I'm a Christian. I weigh in on these issues because it's my job. And I'm sorry you've never met a real Christian, because I'm one. And I tell you the truth, man. It is our job to discern good and evil. It is our job to judge, and not judge hypocritically, but judge. And there is a way of going about that. You need to be gentle and compassionate, and pray for me because I need some. I need some of that. But man, it's a sign of the times, you guys. This has nothing to do with racism. It has everything to do with a licentious and sensual generation of idiots. And if you get offended, then get off my channel then, all right? You know what it says in the Bible? Don't be offended. Don't ever get offended by what people say. Being offended and playing the victim is an American, it's a liberal creation of trying to get something for free, I think. Like, it's just like you say, oh, that guy said I was a bad person, so now I have every right to be angry and go burn buildings down. I just need an excuse to be an idiot is what it really is. And it's just, you know what, when we're all tempted to go burn buildings and riot and all that, you just want to find an excuse to give you that justification to go and do it. And we got ISIS militants in Ferguson trying to recruit people. And what is it about black people and Muslims? Because it seems like they're easier to persuade into that faith. I don't know why. Oh, because the white man. We got to blame other people for the things that happen to us because life's not fair. Nobody said it was. I don't mean to be so insensitive about this issue, but it really drives me crazy because I think children even understand this. And it's sad that grown men go around beating their chest and talking like they're tough and they think they know something. It's really pathetic, man. In an extensive commentary that was liked on his Facebook page more than 700,000 times and shared more than 400,000 times as of Friday, Watson explained that he chose to write down his thoughts on the Ferguson decision after news broke Monday night, and I called it. I said he wasn't going to get indicted, and you have to be stupid to think that he was. You know how court works? You need to have evidence for somebody to be indicted. It's just... You need an excuse to go around and act like a bunch of animals, is what it is. But if you believe in evolution, I guess that's easier to, I guess that's, there's so much justification in the satanic world system that people hide behind and try to just say that they're just in their cause, and it's not just. It's not a just cause. You're just looking for an excuse to be mindless and an animal, man. And it's, I think the reason why I'm so insensitive toward this issue is because this is getting down to the wire, you guys. This is where the rubber meets the road. When we're called to put down the charismatic, trying to be nice all the time nonsense, putting on the veneer, and actually being a real person, and actually weighing in on things, and actually rebuking and shunning evil. And if you don't understand none of this, it's because you don't read the Bible, and you're following people that are probably not teaching you the Word of God. And you're gonna come against me, I know, because your Carl Lentzes and your all your other nonsense preachers are telling you, hey, we're here to hook up, we're here to have fun. What an idiot. Watson struck a point in court, and the extent contrary, I read that. I'm angry because the stories of injustice that have been passed down for generations seem to be continuing before our very eyes, he began. Martin Luther King he's rolling over in his grave, you guys. I'm gonna really offend somebody right now, but you know what this honestly reminds me of? That one episode of the Boondocks. The Boondocks is like a show that was on Adult Swim, and it played at late at night. It's a cartoon, but it's meant for like an older crowd, like between like 18 and like maybe 30 type of crowd. But there was an episode on the Boondocks where Martin Luther King woke up out of a coma. He wasn't really dead, and then he saw the culture the way that it is today. And the things that he said in that speech on that episode are really amazing, man. It's just, I think he would say that in real life. I think he would call you all out. And that's what the man died for, man. He was willing to die for what he believed in. You're willing to go throw your life away because you want to blame other people for all the crying that you do, and it's just... Yeah, I need to be more sensitive about this because that's not nice. It's just that it really does bother me that people... What is it about people that they want to blame a certain group of people because of the color of their skin on all the problems in the world? What is that? Seriously, because that's so ignorant, like in my honest opinion, man. I can't wrap my head around the way that some people's thought processes work. But Watson did not stop there. He went on to highlight some very real truths about race and racism in America before noting, I'm sympathetic because I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what happened. Amen. I do, you know, with the whole Michael Brown thing, it is unfortunate. It's a wasted death, man. It's a meaningless. Uh, when you see stuff like this, you're just like, what's the point of all of this, you know? And there is no point. The guy, he wants to imitate all his favorite clowns on TV, and that's what happens to you. And I honestly don't care. I think that if you want to run around acting like a gangbanger piece of garbage, I think that that's what you get, to be honest with you. There's nothing admirable, there's nothing honorable about being a thug, man. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. You look down on women, the Imago Dei, the image of God. You're looking down on women and treating them like they're things and not like they're people with hearts and minds. It's really something that really, I mean, I'm an MMA fighter, but I don't get in street fights. I don't take my anger out on people like that. I do it as I love the art of fighting, but I will tell you that I do have real anger, man. I have some serious anger, and I don't even care anymore if I offend you. I'm just going to say the truth, and if it offends you, then you need to get thicker skin and become a man. Seriously. Because the men that I see around these days are seriously pathetic, man. And I'm not saying that I'm a big tough guy. I'm not John Wayne. I'm not the best example. But at least I try. And at least I have some direction and focus in my life. And I'm not being a pretentious ass, excuse my language, when it comes to trying to bear that image of what a man is. Because if I was, I'd be, ho, 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 and my head would be shaved, and I'd be wearing a shirt that goes down to my knees and pants that go around my ankles, and, the culture today the church isn't doing its job, obviously, because we have a culture of people who just think it's okay. You know what? We're going to end up like Germany. We're going to end up like Rome. We're going to end up like every other empire that fell because of what's going on in the culture. That's where it all begins. It all begins in the home and in wherever it is that you're being taught and educated. Because if we see where all the problems that are being caused today in our society, where they're deriving from, it's from the public school system, and it's from the fact that parents are not parenting anymore. And if that makes you, who are you? I'm a Christian and I know the truth. That's who I am, okay? Mind your business. Let's do. Man, I'm unleashing hell on this one. And of course, I mean that in a, hyperbole way. Maybe Darren Wilson acted within his rights and duty as an officer of the law and killed Michael Brown in self-defense like any of us would in the circumstance. Yeah, because I wouldn't let some punk thug touch me. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm not intimidated by no thug. I'm not gonna let a thug touch me. You're gonna get touched, son. And I'm sorry if that's not the most Christian thing in the world, but my life has value, man. I think God ultimately values my life more than somebody who wants to kill me. Okay? I think my life is ultimately more valuable than the guy that wants to go around killing people. That's disgusting, man. If you can bring yourself to kill people and you have no conscience whatsoever about it, that should work. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're probably not fit to live anyway, man. These are these issues that so many people have such a hard time, going over and try to understand, because justice is a real thing that we don't understand today. We don't understand the thin line between mercy and grace. And we really don't understand when mercy is necessary and when justice is necessary. Because what we do is we harbor criminals and thugs in this country. Instead of punishing people for what they do wrong, we sympathize with the enemy, with the devil, and we tell him, boys will be boys and girls will be girls, and it's not right. And the people like me that go around pointing all of this out, I'm the one that gets all the heat. I'm the one that gets, and you know what, dude? It shouldn't surprise you, because Christ got crucified. An innocent man, God, got crucified for coming down here to say hello. Should tell you something about yourself. Now he has to fear the backlash against himself and his loved ones when he was only doing his job. What a horrible thing to endure. Or maybe he provoked Michael and ignited the series of events that led to him eventually murdering the young man to prove a point. Maybe we should go and arrest Michael Brown's father because he's the one inciting riots, isn't he? Isn't there laws in this country anymore? So Benjamin Watson on his Twitter account, or I'm sorry, on his Facebook said, at some point while I was playing or preparing to play Monday Night Football, the news broke about the Ferguson decision. After trying to figure out how I felt, I decided to write it down. Here are my thoughts. I'm angry because the stories of injustice that have been passed down for generations seem to be continuing before our very eyes. I'm frustrated because pop culture, music, and movies glorify these types of police citizen altercations and promote an invincible attitude that continues to get young men killed in real life away from safety movie sets and music studios. I'm fearful because in the back of my mind I know that although I'm a law-abiding citizen, I could still be looked upon as a threat to those who don't know me. So I will continue to have to go the extra mile, as he says here. Once again, this is my favorite website because I love how it just automatically refreshes. This is unnecessary. I don't know who made this website, but I can't stand when that happens. I'm trying to read here and it's not even done loading it now. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that, you guys. A little sloppy on my part. I know it's just not working at all. Geniuses, all of these people. Okay, here it is. I'm fearful because in the back of my mind, I have to go the extra mile to earn the benefit of the doubt. I think as a Christian, I'm just going to add this emphasis right now, is that the thing that I have to battle with the most as a Christian in everyday life is misunderstanding. People misunderstand you more than anything else. I'm embarrassed because the looting, violent protests, and law-breaking only confirm and in the minds of many validate the stereotypes and thus the inferior treatment. Yeah, and I'm not... I'm just going to say something to you guys that are African American out there. This isn't helping your cause. You want people to look at you better? You want society to respect you? This isn't helping your cause. And I think that all that stuff's in your mind anyway. I think that that's kind of like that's something that some people try to pollute your mind with, that like people look down on you and that you should feel self-conscious and that people, when they look at you, they're like, oh, he's black. And it's like, no, I don't. I don't care if you don't believe me or anything. I don't. I don't need your validation. I don't need your confirmation. I don't look at people differently just because of the... I think that that's an insanely ignorant thing to do, man. It's insane. I'm embarrassed because looting out of it. I'm sad because another young life was lost from his family. The racial divide has widened. A community is in shambles. Accusations, insensitivity, hurt, and hatred are boiling over. And we may never know the truth about what happened that day, and I agree with that. That's why when people ask me what do you think happened, I go, I don't know, I wasn't there. Nobody was. And a lot of people lied about their witnesses. And remember that in the Ten Commandments it says that you shall not bear false witness. And if you break the law, you know what happens. You need to repent and put your faith in Christ. And He'll forgive you and give you everlasting life. And He'll lift you out of the curse of this world, my friend, out of having a reprobate mind and being a hypocrite like all of these people that are rioting. I'm sad, or I'm sympathetic because I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe Darren Wilson acted within his rights and duty as an officer of the law and killed Michael Brown in self-defense like any of us would in the circumstance. Now, he has to fear the backlash against himself and his loved ones when he was only doing his job. What a horrible thing to endure. Maybe he provoked Michael and ignited the series of events that led him to eventually murdering the young man to prove a point. I'm offended because of the insulting comments I've seen that are not only insensitive but dismissive to the painful experiences of others. I'm confused because I don't know why it's so hard to obey a policeman. You will not win. And I don't know why some policemen abuse their power. Power is a responsibility, not a weapon, to brandish and lord over the populace. Yeah, the more authority and power that you have, the more mercy is necessary. And if you understand what that even means, it means that people will like you and you will do your job right. And you know what, dude? He touched on a very important thing. It's the television and it's the media that's poisoning all of the minds of the young people in our country. Because it's cool to have sex every single day with people you just met. It's cool to look like an idiot thug that has been to prison. And let me tell you, little wannabe gangbanger, little wannabe Tupac, little Snoopy Droopy drawers, let me tell you something. The people that own the prison system also are the people that own the media, dummy. Whoa! Did you know that? Oh, did that ever occur to you? Maybe for some reason, maybe if you're not that naive, maybe you'll wrap your head around this. Maybe they're selling you this weaponized gangbanger culture for a reason. Maybe it's so that they can put you in jail and then get rich off of your idiot. Excuse my language. But isn't it true though? They own the media. They own they own the public schools, and they own the prisons. You didn't know that, did you? You probably don't believe me, but I don't care. I'm just here to inform you about some stuff. But if you don't accept the truth, because probably you don't want to, I'm introspective because sometimes I want to take our side without looking at the facts in the situations like these. Sometimes I feel like it's us against them. Sometimes I'm just as prejudiced as people I point fingers at. And sometimes you gotta look in the mirror, and that's not right. And how can I look at white skin and make assumptions, but not want assumptions made about me? That's not right. Well, you know what the Bible says, that God does not judge as man judges. Man looks at the outside of a person and judges him as who he might be from the outside. But God looks at the heart to see who you are. And that is called just common sense, because that's how you know who a person is. It's not... I don't remember before I was born a time where God said, "Where do you want to be? Black, Asian, white, Hispanic, or what part of the world do you want me to put you in?" I don't remember ever having to fill out a questionnaire like that. I really don't. So I don't see what the pride in being a certain race is. And I know I'm not black, but at least I know this, that in the black community, it seems like if you're not a gangbanger piece of garbage, that you're not black. You're not black enough if you're not sagging your pants and acting like an idiot. And you know what, dude? And I feel bad. And I feel bad for that. That must be a tough thing, because I don't know what that struggle's like because I'm not black. But what I see is that that's what it is. Oh, you're not black because you're not with the brothers on and all this hatred and wanting to point white people out as the devil. And you're not a gangbanger, so you're not really black. It's ignorance. Go away from that. Not all of you guys believe that, and you don't have to believe that. And it's just, and we're going in circles now. I'm hopeless because I've lived long enough to expect things like this to continue to happen. I'm not surprised that at some point my little children are going to inherit the weight of being a minority and all that it entails. I'm hopeful because I know that while we still have race issues in America, and they're getting worse thanks to Obama, we enjoy a much different normal than those of our parents and grandparents. I see it in my personal relationships with teammates, friends, and mentors, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm encouraged because ultimately the problem is not a skin problem, it's a sin problem. Sin is the reason we rebel against authority. Sin is the reason we abuse our authority. Sin is the reason we are racist, prejudiced, and lie to cover our own butt. Sin is the reason we riot, loot, and burn. But I'm encouraged because God has provided a solution for sin through His Son, Jesus Christ, and with it, a transformed heart and mind, one that's capable of looking past the outward and seeing what's truly important in every human being. The cure for the Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and Eric Gardner tragedies is not education or exposure, it's the gospel. So finally, I'm encouraged because the gospel gives mankind hope. And I'm just going to say that I'm really going to step up my ministry here as to what I do on YouTube or whatever. I think I'm honestly tired of all the nonsense. Us Christians are the ones in the society that are supposed to influence it, man. Did you know that America was founded by Christians, by church people that go to church? They were like, hey, we should write a constitution and we shouldn't let people try to lord over us. The church is ultimately the only thing that's ever brought good into this world. And if you don't believe me, why don't you just go do some history? People open up soup kitchens, they take care of the poor. Oh, we're so dangerous though, right? We're so hateful, aren't we? Ultimately, however, Watson concluded that he was encouraged and hopeful that there is a solution in Christ. I'm encouraged because ultimately the problem is not a skin problem, it is a sin problem. Sin is the reason we rebel against authority. Sin is the reason we abuse our authority. Sin is the reason we are racist, prejudiced, and lie to cover our own. Sin is the reason we riot, loot, and burn, wrote Watson. So let me just add this other thing. The music industry, the mainstream media promotes gangbanger music. We all know this. So what do you hear in the gang? F the cops. F the cops. You know what? Now we've gotten to the point where the cops actually think that it's us against them now. So now we've created the cops to act like gangbangers while we act like gangbangers and we fight against each other while the real criminals are getting away with all your money. And we're geniuses, aren't we? Oh yeah. And we argue and we hate each other because we don't wash the dishes or clean up after ourselves, and on and on and on. It's just, the gospel has the answers to everything, man. And if you don't believe me, why don't you just go find out? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is, go study something, and go realize that I'm not lying to you. Ultimate, let's see. I'm hyper today. Wow. I'm very talkative too. In a response to his measured reaction to the decision, Brian Benton noted in a comment liked more than 23,000 times that you should write a book that's not a skin problem but a sin problem by Benjamin Watson. I admire your boldness to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. A lot of people come to Christianity thinking that's going to give them a better life, and I already said that in my last video that we come to God with false motives. But you got to realize that Paul, Peter, John, and Stephen were murdered because what we have to say does hurt people's feelings, and you probably will get killed for it. But I think that we're called to that, and I think until we see some people maybe martyred, we're not gonna see a tremendously drastic change in the society. We're living in Sodom and Gomorrah, I hope you know, because literally an old man got arrested for feeding a homeless person the other day. Welcome to Sodom and Gomorrah. We are officially here. Another popular reaction to the post by Nancy Dixon McMullen that was liked more than 10,000 times noted that, I'm in awe. This hits every emotion from both sides. Thanks for sharing, and I hope it is a heartfelt by all who reads it. Well, I don't know. Saying she hopes everybody gets touched by what he said. We need to get over all the PC stupid nonsense that people try to force feed into our minds, because we shouldn't be afraid to touch on these issues. This is a serious issue. Do you not see that it is tearing our country apart? Do you not see that that it's giving opportunity to the enemy to put a foothold in our country to try to take it over from within? This is a serious issue, and if you guys don't start getting up and saying something about it, it's going to get worse. And if you're going to sit back and get scared that, oh, I might sound like a racist because I'm talking about this, then what you really are is a coward. And there are worse things than being dead. And I would say that is being a coward. And, yeah. I feel for all you guys out there, man, that you're subjugated to this type of issue, right? Like, it's like us against them, and you feel like you're fighting for a cause. You're not. There's no cause in any of this. There's no meaning in this. Is all meaningless nonsense. And you know what? We need to take the words of this Saints player seriously. It's not a skin problem, but it's a sin problem. Simple as that. And I'll leave you with that. God bless you, man, and thank you for being patient and putting up with me, man. I understand what it takes. I understand what the cost is to touch on these issues, and I'm not afraid. Jesus says, don't be afraid. He says, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart because I have overcome it. So, God bless you.